Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Come on, everybody, do please like and subscribe, comments down below. That's good. I'm going to talk today about the 15 worst prisons. Well, that's an estimate of who not made this list, but I'm going to put a link down below to the article that I read on these, and I'm going to list them and discuss why the British prison system is considered to be in absolute collapse. Let me start with, I'll give you the list of the prisons that we're going to be discussing. HMP Birmingham, Doncaster, Liverpool, Tameside, Lincoln, Altcourse, Leeds, Swansea, Durham, Berwyn, Park, the Scrubs, Wormwood Scrubs, Wandsworth, Pentonville and Belmarsh. Now you'll see if you have a look at the link, click on the link down below, that all these prisons have got one thing in absolute common. They've all got a massive misuse of drugs issue. So the drugs in the prisons, which we mentioned the other day, are actually one of the major sources of problems in the prisons. And as I said the other day, it isn't just the fact that the inmates are getting out of their head on these drugs and becoming addicted whilst they're inmates. It's the fact that they're running up bills and getting themselves into debt to the drug barons in the prisons whilst they're locked up. Now, whose fault is that? Well, let me tell you this. You look at the list down below. I'll put the link. Have a look at that. Every single prison states shortage of staff. Now, the Ministry of Justice, they're responsible for this. Why have they got a shortage of staff? I mean, if we go back to the 60s and 70s and 80s, the prison service was seriously considered to be a career, and it wasn't easy to get in. Yeah, very often it was a case of, my dad's been a jailer, and and it followed on like that. And people who came from the army, who had been serving as non-commissioned officers in the army, they were ideally suited to step straight out of the army into the prisons, because they were accustomed to telling people exactly what to do and to getting the results that they required. And today that's not the case. Today, they've got advertisements out the jails. I'm sure they have. I saw a video on YouTube that said anybody can be a prison officer. Anybody can be a prison officer. And it was this girl of about 23 who, I'm not going to make any comments about her appearance or anything, but looked to be a little bit less than potentially effective when facing a group of angry men. She's not the kind of one you say, right, you and I, we're going to go in and deal with this. You wouldn't do it, no. So how are they going to cope? Well, they're saying, you look at this, you look at the list, it's listed down, connection down below. Look at that. They're all saying that they've got big problems with inmate on inmate violence, and most of the prisons listed are suffering from inmate on staff violence. Now, whilst it wasn't uncommon for inmates to attack staff, as a general rule they didn't do it twice, unless they were completely mad. Yeah, there were one or two of them that were completely mad, nutcases like Paul Sykes. And I've mentioned him before, Frankie Fraser. Just didn't seem to respond to treatment. Another one of the complaints that all the prisons seem to have is that because of staff shortages, inmates are being held in lockdown virtually for 21 to 23 hours a day. You can't rehabilitate somebody locked in a 12 by 8 foot cell with other complete strangers. It just gets out of hand. They're not being rehabilitated. It's, as Norman Brown once infamously said, the prisons are little more than human warehouses. And that is where we're still at. And that's 40 years ago since Norman Brown. It's more than 40 years ago, isn't it? It was 1979 when he said that in the BBC documentary. Yeah, that's 45 years ago, isn't it? 46 years ago. We've still got these things that are little more than human warehouses. And what happens when they take them off the shelf and put them out back in the streets? All that's happened there is they become perhaps radicalised, perhaps schooled in ways to commit crime and not be caught, which is a great way to learn, isn't it, from people who have been caught, because that's what they do. Believe me, I have seen it. People in prisons, and they're saying, well, if I'd done it a little bit differently, I wouldn't have got caught. So what do? They go out, try it a little bit differently, and they get caught. Unless they're in Greater Manchester committing burglary, because they didn't manage to solve any burglaries in Manchester in 2024. No. You know why? You ring up, your house has been burgled. Well, we haven't got any staff available, but we'll give you a crime number so you can claim on your insurance. Oh, really? You know, what about all the stuff that belongs to me? It's all gone. And the worst part is, let's say that you do manage to locate some of your stuff and you know where it is, you know the house where it is, you might have put a tracker on it. Police won't turn up. Police won't go and help you retrieve it. You go and try and do it yourself, you run the risk of being arrested. The whole system is bollocksed. If you really need a policeman, the best place to go and get one is McDonald's. Because there don't be any police stations these days. They've all shut them down. There'll be one or two, but basically, nope. Let me talk a little bit about HMP Liverpool, which is one of the prisons that was listed as being one of the most disgusting in Britain. Well, certainly in England and Wales. It was the dirtiest jail I ever served in, Liverpool. The inmates, and it was the inmates that did it. I mean, don't forget, they're living in these conditions. Throwing the food on the floor. So when they had the lunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever it is, didn't just stack the trays up neatly and empty the food that they'd not eaten into the waste bins. No, just threw it on the floor. There were rats running all over the place, mice, cockroaches. The whole place was disgustingly, stinkingly filthy. And in those days, in the 70s, they were slopping out. That is, there was no internal sanitation. That was another complaint that a lot of these prisons had, that the toilet facilities were absolutely disgraceful. Well, you're not going to get inmates to clean the toilets. As I say, in Liverpool, they didn't even bother to put the food in the waste bin, just slung it on the floor. And of course, the practice then in the 70s and 80s was ship parcels. That involves getting some newspaper, putting it on the floor, and defecating into the newspaper, wrapping it up, and then throwing it out of the cell window, i.e. a ship parcel. A lot of these prisons are also extremely antiquated, which I mentioned before. Places like the Scrubs. The Scrubs is apparently in serious decline because the whole place is crumbling. The same with Wandsworth. That can't cope. Pentonville, 1847. I mean, come on. This is 2025. And the best we can offer is a human warehouse that was built 170 odd years ago. Oh, give us a break, eh? That's the best we can offer. The problem is that they're locking people up for something and nothing. If they lock people up and it's a strict regime, And as I said, if people do kick off when they're in these regimes, then ship them out to somewhere where even if they kick off, there's nobody to kick off against because it'll be all automated. Anyway, do have a look at the link below. It gives you the list of the 15 most obnoxious prisons in Britain. Strangely enough, HMP Manchester isn't on them. Strange ways. I imagine it will be before long, because the reports I'm hearing from Strangeways is that it's deteriorating once again. So it's that time of day, folks. I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed this little ramble. Song ding a time, yeah. And of course, a big thanks to Larry the Goatman, who is, listen, if you're ever in Rotherham, just have a look round. You'll see a house with a load of daft signs on the front. No stupid people here. No wonder the goat's screaming. You see, inside that house there's Larry. Alright, I'm going to sing you a song now. You've asked for this, haven't you? Well, of course you have. You're still hanging around. This is a song by Marty Robbins, or it's certainly recorded by Marty Robbins. It's on his album Gunfighter Ballads, I believe. It's Cool Water. We're going to need some cool water, aren't we, in a bit? Yorkshire's on drought, they've got a hosepipe ban in Yorkshire. In Yorkshire! I've never been to Yorkshire where it didn't rain. It's not rained for a bit, though, I'll have to get up there. Cool water. Are you ready? I'll just clear my throat. Stupid boy. All day I face the barren waste without the taste of water. Cool water. Old Dan and I, with throats burned dry and souls that cry for water. Cool, clear water. All the nights are cool and I'm a fool. Each star's a pool of water. Cool water. And with the dawn I'll awake and yawn and carry on to water. Cool, clear water. Keep a moving, Dan, don't you listen to him, Dan. He's a devil, not a man, and he spreads the burning sand with water. Dan, can you see that big green tree where the water's running free and it's waiting there for you and me? Water, cool, clear water. The shadows sway and seem to say, tonight we pray for water, cool water. And way up there he'll hear our prayer and show us where there's water, cool, clear water. Keep a moving, Dan, don't you listen to him, Dan. He's a devil, not a man, and he spreads the burning sand with water. Dan, can you see that big green tree where the water's running free and it's waiting there for you and me? Water, water, water. I sincerely hope that you enjoyed that, and if you did, I'll be on A1 landing tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and I've got a syringe with your name on it. Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton.